Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another day here on the Sunday where we're going to be going through some more matches of the round of 32 for the 4Key Mania World Cup 2023. I am Potassium F here commentating alongside Albion.
Hello everybody! We have an exciting match coming up, Philippines versus Finland, and I'm very excited for it. What about you, Polly?
I'm pretty hyped to see this one. This one, of course, actually, Philippines heavily favored. You would have to say. There's no way around that one. Philippines being seed number 4, I believe. Finland. Let me just do the maths really quick. 29. I think.
Hold on.
Okay. So fairly large gap in terms of the seeding. We'll have to see what Finland can do really on this map pool. A little bit easier than the qualifier map pool for sure. So maybe there is some opportunities, capitalizing on any misses from Philippines. Maybe bringing the accuracy gap a little bit closer than it was in qualifiers. Definitely some potential here.
100%. One thing to consider is that both of these teams, they have a roster that we saw last year as well, except for one player on each team. The Philippines this year having Cub and Finland having Laker. So both of these teams are fairly experienced. They have shown their capabilities in previous years. So perhaps that helps with the nerves, that helps them play a bit better. For Finland, that's not good news, because that means that Philippines is going to be that consistent powerhouse that we know them for. But on the other side, for Philippines, if they make a mistake, Finland does have that experience that they can pull those points out.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of mistakes as well from teams, really strong teams as well throughout this weekend. A lot of the maps, they're definitely harder than last year. So yeah, single misses, massively possible, even on picks that you would say teams would feel relatively comfortable on. So we'll see how this goes. I expect, between these two teams, Philippines, very, very well-rounded, as we know from last year, of course. Finland, also fairly well-rounded. I feel like they might, being the lower seed, maybe Finland tries to go for one of the SVs.
Yeah, and not to be, left behind in the dust here, we do have the Protects already coming out. We see a Rise 2 Protect coming out for the Philippines, and the Protect for Finland is going to be SV2.
Okay, so
Ultra Synergy Matrix.
Yeah, SV. So a bit of a comment about these Protects in general is that although you might see Philippines were number 2 on the SV map in qualifiers, definitely seems very threatening, but at the same time, very different SV map, and SV is one of those maps that's just really unpredictable in general. Like, even though Philippines were extremely good on the SV last week, maybe they're not so comfortable on it this week. Maybe there's a choke that comes out. There's a lot of potential upsets on those maps, so it's a good Protect from Finland. Also, I really like the Protect from Philippines being Little God Channel. That one's a extremely long map compared to the rest of them in the pool, so it's much more consistency based, right? Much more accuracy focused. So single misses from Philippines are not necessarily going to lose them the map there, so they can really flex their accuracy lead. We're going to see will it actually be banned. I have not seen this one being banned yet so far.
Yeah, and then from the other side, for the Philippines, we're going to see Hawatori being banned. So, good thing you pointed out with the accuracy. Actually, in the qualifiers, we did see Finland struggling more on the accuracy qualifier map than any of the other maps. Whilst SV, practice makes perfect. So, hopefully, we can see them taking their own protects there and making good use of that information that they've gained through the qualifiers to take some points home.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at these bans, specifically the pick ban strategy so far from the Philippines, I actually like this quite a lot. This is something that we don't usually see from most teams, because most teams usually you would just protect your strength, ban your weakness here. Philippines in a kind of position where they don't really have any major strengths or weaknesses, like, relative to each other. So they've gone for kind of what is the map that they're least likely to choke a lead. They protected that one, and they banned the shortest map in the pool, the maximum, the hormone one, which just so happens to also be extremely chokeable, being the technical map.
Yeah, And hopefully we're going to get a pick here soon. It looks like they are debating whether to go for Shimasha. That would be a play for Boji, Vulpsy and Forken. We've seen in the qualifiers they're going to be playing all of these Rice maps, and then we have the other three players, Sueska Els, Cub. They'll be playing the SVs and the LNs. So it looks like we're going to get Shimasha coming out. So those three players will stay in. For Finland, however, they've changed their roster a couple times during those qualifiers. So they might not feel entirely comfortable on who's going to play what. But I guess only time will tell.
Yeah, I do think both teams have a lot of players that are probably capable of playing this level of Rice map. This is, of course, the speed map here. It's a little bit more consistent in the patterning and lasts a long time as well. So 3 minutes long means that it's going to be mostly accuracy based. So it really just depends who gets the best accuracy on these ones. I will say, though, that this map, there's potential that Finland just ends up being really good at this one, because we didn't really see that much of their of this kind of specific skill set from the qualifiers. More sustained streams. There was stage 7, but obviously that was 250 BPM, not the best indicator of this level of accuracy.
True, and for Finland, I think we're going to see Coast by Camellia here, together with Leica and potentially Fizu. I do think there's a potential for Fizu to join in this roster. They've definitely shown that they can also act. They've shown that, I think, in 4DM in the previous tournaments. So that would give Finland at least some fighting chance against this heavily stacked roster from the Philippines. This map is very fun to play though, so hopefully the players are going to have just as much fun playing it, rather than accidentally losing a point potentially if they get a miss.
Yeah, I like this one as well. And I think Finland can definitely... We've seen a lot of lower-seeded teams actually perform really well on this one. The only thing is, I still think this is a good pick for Philippines, just because, you know, we see the names in particular. I'm looking at Boji and 4Ken. They're now called 7Ken. Both of those players, Vulpsy as well, they all have just extremely strong accuracy. We would expect some ridiculous ratios on a map like this. If they can pull that off here, I think that Philippines definitely should have an accuracy lead, but we'll have to see. So here we go.
Without further ado, yeah, we're going to immediately head into it, sync everything up, and Albania Ilya will be completing the roster for Finland. 3v3, time to shine, do or die time. Good start for Finland, but even better start for the Philippines. They'll be putting ahead a little bit at the start, keeping that 100% on Boji still. It's going to be interesting to see how long he can hold that for.
Oh my god, okay, yeah, you're right. I was impressed by Albania Ilya, because this is a really strong start from them, but yeah, Boji, we'll check back in on Boji a little bit later. But it was a bit of a rough start for Ghost by Camellia, dropping below 99% at the start there, but seems to be recovering actually pretty quickly up to 99.7.
And we do see Boji finally losing the V2SS. Absolutely incredible. What a mad lad. Keeping it for 350 combo. Looks like Goes by Camellia has been managed to get their accuracy at least above Leica's accuracy now. Ooh. And a miss coming in from Albania Ilya. That's not going to help Finland on this first map.
Yeah, just being thrown off a little bit by the speed streams that were coming in there. Actually, Albania Ilya had such high accuracy before that miss as well. Was actually tying 7Ken. So that's the best accuracy on Finland down with a miss now, and looking across the board, Finland kind of averaging 99.6, 99.7, but Philippines still with Boji on 99.96. I don't know. I don't know. You don't do anything. You can't do anything against that.
No, if you're Finland right now, you're just hoping that on accident Philippines is going to find a miss, but they won't. It's going to be Ghost by Camellia finding a miss, the second miss now for Finland, putting the team in an even larger disadvantage. More than 20,000 points separating both of these teams, and we still have a third of the map remaining, but no sign of weakness on the Filipino side.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing for Finland is that with this accuracy lead, this is actually quite a significant accuracy lead for the Philippines, especially on such a long map. So even if Finland held the full combos still, they would still be relying on at least like 2 misses from Philippines to be able to make up the difference. But now, with three misses, all 3 of the Finland players missing once each, no full combos left versus the 3 full combos on the Philippines with the better accuracy means this is running away a little bit here.
Yeah, and there's even only a combined total of 0.34% accuracy lost on the Philippine side, and that's less than Leica has. This is rough. This is a very rough first pick, but it is the Philippines pick. It is their map. It's their point to win. Finland is going to be picking next, so they can definitely still get back into this. This isn't a lost game. This is only the first map. We still have plenty more to play.
Yeah, for sure. And these are actually pretty nice accuracies actually from Albania and Ilya and Ghost by Camellia in particular there. Without the misses, those have been close to like 990k. But it's, you look at the Philippines team and you can see why this is one of the highest rated teams in the whole tournament, right? 65 300s coming in from Boji with the double S. And this is a team average that I don't think we're going to see almost any team in the entire tournament being able to beat.
Boji, what have you done? 65. That is an incredible score. And now, going from Rice, we will be heading into SV. SV1 being picked. It's not the Protect. It's going to be the other one. New Genes. Finland, I hope you practiced, because I imagine the Philippines have.
Yeah, I think as an underdog team, especially in Finland, it's almost a requirement. Like, you have to be able to practice the SV as much as you can, right?
Yeah, this is one of those things that practice makes perfect. The more you play it, the more you'll be able to get a feel for the rhythms, get a feel for the slow jams, the fast jams, sometimes the teleports. We're going to see a switch out on the Filipino side. Silveska Els and a Paul coming in, and we see Fizu coming in instead of Leica.
Yeah, so as usual, we always expect a lot of switch outs for these SV maps. It just depends really on who's practiced them. But interestingly enough, we don't see Cub coming in for Philippines. The new addition to the roster was brought in for SV, I thought, for the most part. But here, obviously, Philippines have a lot of players that are comfortable with this kind of map. So we'll have to see. This is Finland's pick, of course. This is their chance to be able to get on the board.
Yeah, interesting to note there with Cove. I don't think he also is a big powerhouse, of course, in the LN department. So it's not just the SV, but seeing Vulpsy instead of Cove is definitely interesting here. Potentially, Vulpsy is just that much more confident on this map.
Yeah, getting some word from various sources here. Cub is not online currently, so maybe not just available here. But it should still be okay for Philippines as long as they've had 4 players that practice. Vulpsy with a little bit of an... Oh, actually, Apol as well with a miss. I was going to say Vulpsy with a couple 200s at the start. So far, Finland actually looking very strong on this at the very early parts of the map.
Yeah, and we see Fizu coming out, and what an accuracy that he's still holding. 99.7%. That is incredible. If they can keep that for the remainder of this map, this could very well be a point for Finland. With Apples reaching and gaining accuracy as well, Silveska Els is gaining. Perhaps they just didn't have the start they were looking for. Maybe the start was just not how they had timed it. But
yeah, the start of the map difficult. Is fairly tricky to get the timing right as well, especially that first chord. But now we can actually see the accuracies from Finland starting to drop a little bit. Albania Ilya dropped down to 99.3 just before. Ghost by Camellia dropping down a little bit more. The ACK lead, it looks like it's actually in Philippines' favor, just about. It's only that miss, the very early miss from Apol, that's keeping Finland in the lead.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if they're keeping this accuracy for the remainder of this map, whether that one miss from Apol is going to be enough for Finland to take the point. And they'll need to keep the accuracy that they have right now, or try to improve it at least a little bit, because 3,000 points separating these two teams is not a lot.
Yeah, a few 200s actually coming in from Philippines, especially on that earlier slow jam kind of trill. And that's going to keep Finland just in a little bit of a lead, but we can see now already Volpsi is very quick at regaining the ACK once, whenever they drop down. And now Siluesca L's all the way up from 99.3 at the beginning of the map, all the way up to 99.7. And oh, this is enough to actually take the lead just a little bit. It looks mostly like L's difference right now.
This is incredibly close, but Ghost like Amelia having dropped the load at 99.5% is not helping the Finnish team.
And this part is very easy to drop 200s on as well. The few 200s could decide this map, but it doesn't look like Finland is regaining the accuracy quite fast enough, and now Philippines managing to rectify their earlier mistakes.
Finland in a world of trouble. The map is coming to a close here, and it looks like Philippines will be taking a second point, first break point of the match. Heading into their second pick as well. 10,000 points separating these two teams. 3 full combos on the side of Finland, but the accuracy not there to support it. And Philippines takes map number 2.
Yeah, strong team score from Finland nonetheless, but it is going to just be the accuracy, like you said, the ratio and the 200 count both favoring Philippines despite that one miss coming in. So it is going to be a break point, but I think that was a fairly close shot that Finland had, at least.
Yeah, and that makes me incredibly excited, potentially, to see that SV2, the Protect from Finland, coming up later in this match. Because if we see that one, and it is similar to this, and perhaps the Philippines are gonna lose, they are gonna bleed, they're gonna find that 1 point lost to Finland. But in the overall game of things and state of things, Philippines looking like they're comfortably, at least somewhat comfortably, cruising their way to a victory. Finland trying to stop them, but Lime coming out, the LNs could be tricky.
Well, I think there's a little bit of doubt in what they're picking here. I think Els has changed the pick to Poppy. Potentially. So LN would have been an interesting one to pick, for sure, but I'm not sure what's... Yeah, Els is confirming that they want to pick Poppy instead. I'm not sure what the rules are on this one.
I mean, I think it's going to be up to the referee here to decide whether they want to roll with this or not. If we do see Poppy, it's regardless of which map we're going to see, it's going to be interesting no matter what.
Yeah, but anyway, I feel like no matter what Philippines pick, it's going to be a fairly good pick at this point. They have, obviously, the players for all maps. Hard to really tell because Finland don't particularly have a massive, weakness, you would say, at any particular skill set. We saw their Rice 1 scores were actually fairly decent across the board. And I think their LN should be pretty good at this level as well. They have, players like Loveland being very strong LN accuracy players as well.
Which map are we gonna see? Poppy or Lime?
It's not a real World Cup stream without a good old restart of the client.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the main staples of the World Cup, right? I mean, of any tournament, so
Of course.
client is one of the highlights.
Okay, so we're going to be seeing Poppy. This is actually the first time I've seen this one. I'm sure it's been picked in one of the other matches that I've missed, but at least for the ones that I've seen on stream, this has not been picked so far. So an interesting pick to go for right away. Kind of a more like vocal dump style technical pick, which I guess kind of fits in line just ever so slightly with the Rice 1 map that we saw earlier. But this one, yeah, kind of hard to really compare, regardless. I will say that I think some players have mentioned with this one as well. I think this map is fairly mind blockable as well. But
True.
obviously,
Yeah.
I guess if Philippines are picking it, then none of them have mind blocked it.
Yeah, absolutely true. We do see Fizu most likely coming out of this one. They are probably more stronger players on the Finnish roster. Laker as well, new addition against another once again Boji, Wolfsy, and Seven Ken. This is going to be a strong showing again. If Boji can replicate what they did on that first map, get another 99.9% AC with another 6,500s, this is a lost cause for Finland, an uphill battle. Definitely not a lost cause, but just a massive uphill battle.
Yeah, this is a
We are going to
shorter
head in.
map. It's a shorter map, so there is potential, for misses to be able to out. As I say that, I think that was real. That was not Klein. I saw Forken accidentally had fingers on the wrong keys. It looks like at the very start there. Could
Yeah, I'm
definitely
not sure what
happen.
happened there. Something definitely happened. It's not looking like it was anything client-side related. So Seven Ken starting down on the accuracy, but having that happen that early in the map, right? Only the first 10 nodes shouldn't hurt too much. This miss from Fizu should be much, much worse, especially now that the entire Philippines team has gotten to that 400 combo count.
Yeah, that was incredibly early, so it doesn't matter really in terms of combo for Forken. It's mostly just the accuracy, and the accuracy we can see is rising fairly fast, or 98.7, and actually not too far behind now from Fisu, and that's really, keeping Philippines ahead right now because Boji, on another one of these performances, Voltsin also holding up an incredible accuracy.
Yeah, and at the same time, Leica and goes by Melia at that same accuracy that we've seen from them earlier as well, 99.7 and a 99.5. They're not bad, they just aren't quite there with the Philippines accuracies. Boji is doing another monster run on this map, not slowing down whatsoever. And 7 Ken slowly creeping back up, almost at a 99.2. And Fizu finds yet another miss. That's surely gonna put the nail in the coffin, no?
Yeah, that one's a rough miss as well. Now, as you said, Forken has actually, despite starting down at like below 90% because of the earlier mishap, actually built up the accuracy so well. 99.4, almost matching the Finland players, and one more miss from
Oh,
Leka coming in towards the end of the map. And this is
yeah.
we can almost consider this 3 full combos from the Philippines.
We can. We definitely can. Those misses right at the end there for Lake and Fizu just completely shut down any hope that this point could still go to them.
37 this time. That's almost 999k. Oh my god.
OG! OG,
With
stop!
score v2, that's 1 to 50 if I'm doing a bit of quick maths right now.
It could be. It very well could be. I'm not doing math.
Yeah.
We're not doing math.
Not
We
bad.
have the 50,000 points difference already being calculated for us. We're not doing even more math here. We are going to be heading, however, into the next pick for Finland. There's still the SV2 on the table. We still have that as a possibility. Do they want to go for that, or are they fancying their chances within the LN?
Oh, this is interesting, actually. They're going with Voyager, which is the pick that Philippines initially picked just before, until they switched to Poppy.
So that does mean we are going to head into those LNs. Perhaps they like their odds, they like their chances here. But against Silvescales, the player who won OMLN 3, this might be relatively tricky. Although Silvescales is now playing on the Finnish side. Look at that. Maybe there is some hope.
But yeah, Philippines have an extremely scary LN team as well, of course. Not just a Rice team there, but Finland has some very strong players themselves with the LN. Obviously going to be fairly comfortable with this map overall, but the question really just is, can Finland keep close with Philippines' accuracy on this one? Because we can expect high accuracies across the board on the Philippines side.
We very well can, but at the same time, keep in mind, Cub is not here. And I would imagine Cub would be playing this map if they were here. So that does give some room for Finland to potentially take this one home.
Potentially, but at the same time, I look at these 3 players from the Philippines and I'm a little bit scared. Just in general.
Same here. Same here. But, you know, it's always look at the bright side of things.
Actually, wow, all 6 players off to a very nice start in the very early stages of this map. Still yet to see the density kick in, as we're going to be getting into that very shortly now.
Yeah, both teams still holding strong. Paul with a 99.95. Unreal. Hitting all of those releases as well.
Yeah, Albania Ilya actually catching, holding up, very comparable to the Philippines side, but Fisu and Krazy both dropping in accuracy just a little bit down to 99.6 for both of them. And as you said right now, Apol and Sileska Els both at 99.9.
But still no misses on either side. So it's still very much possible. 7Ken at that 99.7. Not quite at the same accuracy as their teammates. Here are Fizu and Krazy at 99.5 both. It's not looking good for them.
Yeah, the accuracy is actually very... I think this is a very strong accuracy across the board for Finland in general, but you know, against this kind of accuracy from the Philippines, it's going to take more than a clean miss. I feel like even if Philippines find a miss right now, if it's clean, they'll still be able to maintain a bit of a comfortable lead just from the accuracy alone. I mean, there's not much you can do against 2 99.9 scores.
Yeah, these are some holy scores that are going to be coming in here in a bit. 16,000 points separating these 2 teams currently, and there's going to have to be a miss on the Philippines side or a massive act drop for Finland to be able to take this one. And that would put Philippines, if things stay the way they are currently, Philippines are looking at that match point kick coming up.
Yeah, we've not seen really any fluctuations in the accuracy. It stayed fairly consistent from start to finish. All the players, you know, not really choking, not really doing keeping the consistent accuracy, and that's going to, unfortunately for Finland, favor the Philippines here with, that's a 996k from Els. I missed out on
it's
Apol's
68
score.
points different. 68 points difference between Sileska Els and Apol. They were both at that 996, with Apol being at 99633. That is incredible from both of those players. Fizu and Albania Ilya also playing incredibly well. Albania Ilya getting a 993, only less than 40 points away from 7Ken's score.
Yeah, they're really close together. You can see the ratio almost identical. So Albania Ilya definitely playing really well so far, at least in the in this match. But it's just hard, right? Up against a team like the Philippines, if their lowest score is 993k, you know, you can't really fault Finland at all for how these results are going so far. And it looks like Philippines, they're deciding to bring out the Protect right now. Little God Channel coming out the Jump Stream Stamina pick.
Yeah, I mean, Albania Ilya, goes by Camellia, Fizu, Leica, all of them have been playing so well. But it's just against a powerhouse like the Philippines. They're seed 4, and they're seed 4 for a reason. You're not going to be able to just come in and take them down that easily. But they've been playing so incredibly well. Against any other team, they would have had a shot. But Philippines is not opening the door for them.
Yeah, Philippines, one of these monster teams that we're seeing this year, up the very top. Big chances of getting into, you know, podium positions. At least that's going to be the goal for them. You would have to expect this year. But this is going to be their match point. So 4-0. Finland are going to have to look to get one on the board at least right now.
It's do or die time, but this being Philippines Protect, I do not like the odds for Finland.
Yeah, definitely uphill battle on this one. As I said, you know, at the start of the match here, 3.5 minutes long. This one has a lot of note count, which does mean that single misses, they don't mean quite as much as they would in a shorter map. So even if Philippines gets 1 or 2 misses even, if their accuracy is, you know, as strong as it has been against Finland so far in this match, then it feels like the accuracy alone should be able to make up for miss differences plus an extra amount as well.
And that's not all. I mean, the map is 3.5 minutes long. We're not going to be able to declare a winner of this match for another 3.5 minutes. With the accuracies, that's the all-important part here. You're going to have to stay not just consistent in the entire map by not getting any misses, also consistent by keeping that accuracy high, especially in a stamina-draining map like this one. Could very well be, could still be rough. But Boji, they're at it again.
Oh, it's gone back up. I saw Boji.
Yeah,
I saw Boji drop down, but it's rounded up to back to 100.
It's that incredible, and Fizu finds the first drop of the map.
Well, that's an unfortunate drop. Well. Goes by Camellia and Albania Ilya, both with very strong ratios right now, 99.84, just about on both of them. Not too far behind Forken and Volpsy, for sure. But Boji is, you know, as you can see, doing Boji things once again, 99.99, as we're about a quarter of the way into the map. Fisu missing again, unfortunately. It's going to give the lead even more towards the Philippines.
And another miss, and another miss. They just can't quite find their groove in this map. Can't quite put their foot down and get a combo going. Missing every couple hundred combo. Boji. Yeah, there's no way. There's no shot they're gonna go back to 100% There's no shot, right?
No. It's too late in the map. There's definitely been too many regular 300s. Yeah, no. But yeah, it's hang on a second. Boji finding a miss. Okay, so Boji is not that good at the game. No, just kidding. These patterns,
terrible play. I mean, you've seen it here.
Okay, you might have seen, like, okay, a lot of jump stream maps typically are fairly, you know, players find fairly comfortable, but these patterns in particular on this map are actually very tricky to be able to hold combo on, let alone to act. So we can, it is very understandable that there is a little bit of discomfort trying to hold in the combo. As we saw another miss just before, it's going to be even further in Philippines' favor. Despite the miss from Boji earlier, it's still the highest act in the lobby, 99.95 with a miss.
I think it might have just been a clean miss. I don't think there was anything other than that miss, but potentially maybe just a second, like a 200 or something, but it was very, very clean. Still had a 99.95. If it weren't for that miss, Boji, this score would have been unrivaled.
And Albania Ilya finding a miss there. Clean miss from Albania Ilya, but it's a miss nonetheless. It means that Philippines is going to extend the lead. And the accuracy is just over time from Albania and Ilya and Goes by Camellia, both dropping just a little bit, still above the 99.7, still very strong accuracies in general, but Volpsy for Forken as well, both still holding really strong, and that's the last full combo gone from Finland. The stamina just running out towards the end of the map. I mean, it is a stamina pick for a reason. Very hard to focus on, like, so hard on your ratio while also maintaining the stamina for the entire duration of the map. And now the misses are coming out.
Very commendable effort from Finland, but Albania Ilya Goes by Camellia Fizu still finding misses, finding more and more of them, and there is no sign of weakness on the Filipino side, and that will do it. Finland, unfortunately, will be moving to the lower bracket, and Philippines, they will win this match. And what is that score from Boji? 48 300s and just a clean miss, just a singular clean miss. Boji.
But Boji like tied his other teammates' scores despite a miss. That's crazy. Had 995k with a miss is insane.
I'm
yeah, absolutely nothing that you can do with that. Philippines, definitely deserving to move on to the next stage. Finland with a strong performance themselves, but just unfortunate with the matchup today. Not much they can realistically do against a team that puts up scores like that. So it is going to be a very strong first match from the Philippines. They're going to be moving forward into the round of 16 winners side. And of course, Finland still in the tournament. They're not eliminated just yet. They get one more shot in the losers bracket, going to have another chance of going a bit further in the tournament.
And they've set some commendable scores. Finland is not one of these teams that you should be taking lightly. If you're going to be facing them in that lower bracket, then make sure to prepare, because they played incredibly well. It's just, you cannot compare against the Philippines. They're seed 4, and they're seed 4 for a reason. They've shown why in this match. Crazy performances from both teams, and that does mean that the Philippines will be facing España, Spain, next week.
Exciting match there, actually. Philippines versus Spain, and Finland going into the losers bracket going to be versing Russia as well. So that one is also going to be some exciting matches here. We were actually seeing a few of these matches being filled as we get later into the week here. Netherlands versus Argentina, also another exciting one there in the losers bracket. And yes, I mean, some of these names down here, we see some scary teams in the losers bracket already.
Yep, and Finland is going to be facing off against Russia. A battle between neighbours. Good luck against both of those teams next week. And next up, in about 23 minutes, we aren't going to be stopping anytime soon today. Still 6 more matches coming up, and the next one will be Japan versus Colombia. An incredible match. Make sure you stay around for that one.
Yep, so come back in about 23 minutes. We're going to be here on this stream covering that one, and until then, we'll see you later. Welcome back, everyone. We're here with one more match of this block. We're going to have Japan versus Colombia starting now. I'm still Potassium F, but this time being joined by Eliminate. How are you doing?
I am doing good. It's a pleasure to be here. Japan versus Colombia, definitely going to be a match to say the least. Having these two teams with very mentionable players. Crew K, AM Duskia, all these good players forming one team. Japan getting a much higher seed this year in comparison to their previous years, so I'm really hoping to see a great performance here.
Yeah, I think Japan actually did perform even better in qualifiers than a lot of people would have expected. Seed number 3 is kind of insane, actually, and not like, Japan hasn't really achieved a podium for quite a long time. But this year, they're looking extremely strong. Colombia, of course, being seed number 30. So another one of these matches that have a pretty large seed discrepancy. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how Colombia fares with the easier map pool in the round of 32.
Yeah, so Colombia, Alexito, very mentionable player, as I said, as well as Ago. So even though seed 30, definitely doable for them to pick up some points if they can manage, though against Japan, what more can you do versus such a power team this year?
Yeah, it's hard to say because, in previous years, you would definitely say, oh, okay, any team can really take some points from Japan. There used to be, back in the day, a team that was notoriously strong on Rice and weak on LN, but this year they've really flipped the script around, being the 3rd best team in both of the LN maps, I think. If I recall correctly. So they're definitely a really well-rounded team this year. No real weaknesses for Colombia to target. So I feel like it's going to be up to Colombia to really pick into their strengths rather than try to look for some weakness from Japan. And I feel like that's probably going to be the Rice maps.
And here we go. So waiting on the rolls, Crew K rolls a 57. And I'm expecting Japan, shockingly enough, to pick into the SVs. Alexito rolling a 1.
Oh, nice. the rare roll coming out. So Japan winning the roll, and yes, I'm very excited to see Japan picking SV here. I think they should absolutely protect it. Please protect Ultra Synergy Matrix, Japan. Just saying. But yeah, usually you would say that the underdog team is going to be the one that you would pick SV. But in this case, this is a kind of anomaly match in terms of the SV matchup. Japan is, I think, far and away the best SV team in this entire tournament. And Colombia did struggle quite a lot on stage 1, actually getting number 36 overall on that stage.
Yeah, and as you said about the underdog, picking SV is probably not the best idea for Colombia, and I honestly have no clue what would be best for Colombia to pick, knowing that Japan got really good scores on mostly everything in their qualifiers.
Yeah, you can't be seed 3 with a weak skill set for sure in this tournament. So it is going to be the SV2 Protect I saw coming out of Japan. So that's going to be exciting. Japan definitely wants to pick the SVs. Colombia, wonder what they're going to decide to protect. Maybe one of the more chokeable Rice maps. I'm looking maybe at Rice 5 here. Oh, and just as I say that, the prediction.
You're on it today, Colombia. I don't think it would be a surprise if they banned SV1.
I think that is absolutely the best option for Colombia. You would have to, you know, maybe if there's another map that Colombia doesn't really feel like they can perform well in, that might be an option as well, because SV. Okay, no, I'm not going to say that there's a big chance of Colombia taking an SV map, but yeah, they're going to ban SV1. I think it's almost a requirement for every team to ban SV against Japan this tournament.
Though I am surprised to see LN1 being banned. I'm not too sure how Colombia will perform on such a map. I was expecting one of the Rice maps, to be honest, but yeah, obviously they have their own preferences.
I feel like Tarot Card's definitely something that plays into some of Japan's strengths. Crew K and Ice Cake in particular are very strong accuracy players, and you know, Tarot Card's one of those maps that very much favors strong accuracy in general, and Japan are wasting no time. We're going straight into the SV. Let's see how they do on this one.
Yeah, Japan do not want to wait any longer. They just want to go straight into their Protect on SV2. Only 2 minutes long, not very long whatsoever. Even though Japan is incredibly strong in SV, still a miss can really throw their score. So consistency is key on maps like these. But I'm sure they know that already.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm expecting the trio of Japan to come in being Crew K, Ice Cake, and Gyoza Goki, of course. Crew K, I'm sure a lot of people already know as one of the best SV players in the world. And also, Ice Cake and Gyoza Goki both winning the recent SVSV2 SV tournament, team tournament there. So we've got three of the best SV players in the whole tournament on one team, which is a very scary prospect for Colombia right now.
Yeah, definitely a powerhouse of a team. And this year, including the Protect system, allowing teams to protect the map they do not want to get banned, will definitely play in Japan's favor, being able to protect the more difficult SV map. And as you said, the most 3 powerful SV players on one team is definitely a huge advantage when it comes down to that.
Yeah, we'll see how Colombia do on this one, of course. Very big chances if they manage to practice this a lot, they could definitely get a very solid team score. But I have an expectation of what Japan's score might be, and I don't think any team can beat it. We'll have to see. This is Japan's pick though, so it's okay for Colombia to drop this one.
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued to see these scores from all players. I'm actually really interested to see how Colombia puts up a fight even. Though getting into it now, all players have rated up.
You know, this map having a lot of slow jam in it as well, so very easy to drop accuracy, drop 200s on some of these really slow parts. Starting at the very start, actually, so we've seen a lot of players getting caught off in the very first few notes, so watch out here. And oh, actually, Crew K fumbling the keyboard just a little bit at the very start, but it's not going to matter too much because Marvelous Cosmos and Alexito both missing early on as well.
Yeah, mind you, Roberto also missed in the first few notes. More misses from Colombia. This is definitely a really bad start to a map. Already down to 2 A ranks. Crew K is on a 96.
Yeah, Crew K missed the first like 10 notes of the map. Hands off the keyboard just a little bit, not getting it on the keyboard fast enough, but seems like he's raising the accuracy quite fast. And of course, Ice Cake and Gyozagoki are absolutely destroying the chart right now. 99.93 on both of them.
Really good scores, and Crew K would most likely also be in the same range if not for those misses at the start. Roberto seems to be struggling a bit, as well as Alexito. Marvelous Cosmos has been full comboing since those misses at the start. Really trying to fight for their team, but not much they can do when you see this score lead of over 450,000 points, and we're halfway through the map.
Yeah, this one is done, absolutely. 2 players on Colombia dropping below that A rank mark. We've still got 2 players on Japan holding 99.93. And I'm just interested to see what Crew K's accuracy is at the end of the map, because if it's anywhere near as good as Ice Cake and Gyozagoki's, that really just does confirm our suspicions of the strength of the Japanese SB team.
Definitely no surprise there. Roberto Alexito does miss at the same time. These 99.94 and 99.93 scores, oh my lord. Into the last section of the map, Crew K has went all the way back up to a 99. Marvelous Cosmos might be FCing the rest of the map, and does manage to.
2970, this is a 990k average for the Japanese team with 6 misses at the start. The ratios, look at the ratios.
What is that?
There's a 1 to 20 ratio on every player on Japan. Yeah, if you take away that start from Crew K, that would have been just about tied with Ice Cake, just a little bit behind. So yeah, 998, 997, 997 it would have probably been without the early misses.
If my math is not mistaken, that's 125 perfects in total across all players. That is ridiculous.
That's absolutely absurd from Japan, just in general. No one is even with the misses, I don't even think many teams in the whole tournament can beat that score, even with the catastrophic miss at the start from Crew K. Just the ACK being that strong to make up for it.
Yeah, I mean, not even that, just like the ratio in itself. How many people, like individual players, are getting less than that perfect count? Like from the combined score.
The amount of players that I think could in this tournament, you can barely count them. But here it is, Colombia. They get their first pick now, and they're going to go straight for their Protect, it looks like here.
Yeah, getting straight into it. They want to hopefully take a point off of Japan after them putting up that performance.
And I wonder, let me just check, because I'm seeing the Japanese team right now, they're fielding a lineup that I would expect on the LN maps. Crew K, Ice Cake, and 9990. From what I recall, they're LN players. And they do have some strong players on their team. I'm not sure if the whole Japanese roster is online. I think that might be it right now. I'm not seeing any AM Duskia or JH League Girl being online at the moment.
Well, Crew K has parted from the lobby, so we could potentially be seeing someone else join in. Crew K does come back. So as you said, that might be a problem. Not having those 2 players online. It seems like they have readied up as well. So unfortunately, maybe they couldn't make the match today.
Yeah, but still a very strong lineup here. Japan, Crew K, of course, being one of the best players on the Japanese team for pretty much all maps, you would have to imagine. And Ice Cake, in particular, I know has very, very strong accuracy, just in general, for these early rounds. So still Very possible for Colombia to win this one, though. We've seen it's only 1.5 minutes long and plenty of very chokeable patterns, very chokeable mini jack kind of patterns that we're going to see just in a little bit.
Yeah, don't let the seedings throw you off. I mean, already, just from the first few seconds, you can see that Colombia already has the accuracy advantage here. Winning by only a couple hundred points, is going back and forward now.
Yeah, Kruke off to a little bit of a shaky start with the ratio there.
Yeah, I was going to say all players are holding with 99.7. Billabong does go down to 9.6, but it's still not much. Kruke does find that miss. That's going to bring the lead over to Colombia, and that's not something you'd like to see at halfway through the map. That combo advantage is now gone, going to let them build up that score.
Yeah, that's a huge miss, actually. Look, 5,000 points in the lead for Colombia. Gonna grow a little bit more as well. And we mentioned the accuracy before. It's not actually that strong in favor of Japan. Definitely not enough to make up from the miss right now, at least. And we're already in the last quarter of the map. It's so short, but this lead, it's shrinking just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm seeing quite a few 200s being dropped from Colombia here. Even though Kruke did find that miss, they're still gaining on the accuracy side of things. This is going to be such a close score. Only a few seconds left of the map. Alexizo finds that miss. That's going to be the nail in the coffin, I think. Japan will take the break point. That was such a close match.
Yeah, we could see the danger of picking something like this. Well, not for Colombia. A very good pick for Colombia at the end of the day, but very dangerous from Japan. Finding the miss for Kruke in the middle of the map, that almost gave Colombia the lead or the opportunity to win a map off of Japan here early on. But we're going to see it being won out thanks to Ice Cake and 9990 both getting 995Ks.
I'm not sure if Alexizo, if he didn't miss, would they have taken the point? I don't think they would. I think it would have been 1,000 points of difference, roughly.
I think it was slowly trending towards Japan at the very end there. So it does look like Japan probably would have won that, but definitely very close affair nonetheless. And now Japan looking like they're going to go for the LN side of things early on. Makes a lot of sense given what we just saw on the Rice maps. Colombia keeping it close there.
Yeah, and especially not having their other Rice players on the team. LN, you would think would be the best choice, having their top LN players available to do so.
Yeah, all three of the players here for Japan, Kruke, Ice Cake, and 990, they are the players that played both of those LN maps in the qualifiers, getting the third best team score overall. So definitely a very terrifying team to go up against here.
Yeah, seeing that performance on Race 5 as well really makes me think, can Colombia potentially take a point on another Rice map? Because all it does take is just a choke from Japan, which we did see, and it really made the score that much closer.
Yeah, there's a couple of other, more technical maps that are fairly short as well in the Rice pool, so I feel like Colombia definitely has an avenue that they can look to try and attempt to win a couple points here against Japan, but for now it is going to be Japan's pick. They are going to see if they can close out one more cleanly this time on the Japanese side. But of course we do have Ego joining for Colombia, and I do recall this player is a bit of a fade-in player, which is rare to see.
Definitely one of the few in World Cup. I could not think of anyone else, to be honest.
I know two. Just Ego and Last Exceed are the only ones that I know that have ever played in a World Cup.
It's definitely an interesting mod, to say the least, to use. All players on a relatively strong start, actually, as we get into the build-up. For the next section, everyone gets into it cleanly, no accuracy drops to be seen. So the score is going into Japan's favor. They have the ratio advantage. Two players at the 99.9% accuracy now.
Yeah, all of Colombia holding around the 99.4% average. But Japan here, we can see Ice Cake and Kruke absolutely destroying it so far. 990Y also not far behind at all, 99.86 there. So it's a definite accuracy lead in favor of Japan.
Ego is now down to 99.1. That's pretty low down, but halfway through the map, there is room for error on the Japan side. We've seen it happen before. We can see it again. The accuracy is not too bad for Colombia. It's just when you're going against Japan, they can really make your scores not look as great. But Colombia definitely doing really good so far.
Yeah, for sure. Alexido and Marvelous Cosmos both on pace for 980Ks, which actually is very, very solid scores in general. But yeah, as you said, it's less about Colombia not being good. It's more about Japan being too good right now.
Still have 4 FCs in this lobby at the moment. This is unexpected to see from a Seed 30 match. But as I said earlier, Seed should not be the deciding factor.
Yeah, this was actually a really rough tournament in general to even qualify into the top 32. So every single team is definitely very scary in this tournament, but it is going to be Japan taking it there. That is a team score and a half. 3 200s altogether from Japan. That's going to be the biggest force there, and the ratio is looking so solid. 997 on 2 of the players on Japan.
Kruke with the V1 double S as well. Ice Cake with the 1-200 and 9990 2-200s. That is almost 3 double S's on the Japan side of things, with incredible ratio from all players all around.
Yeah, shout out to the tripled FC as well on Colombia's side. Very rare that we've actually seen in the tournament so far 6-way FCs. It's actually been quite a lot of misses overall with a map pool this hard.
So, one last potential pick from Colombia. I'm expecting another race map.
Yeah, Hopeful Frontier is a possibility. Poppy as well. Those two are the kind of more technical maps that are left in the pool. Neither of them are that long either. I feel like the top 2 maps that we're seeing there, Rise 1, Rise 2, are a bit too long, probably favor the accuracy team a little bit too much. But, oh, actually we are going to be seeing Rise 1 here, the speed stream map.
Yeah, this map is definitely somewhat awkward to play, so I can see them picking it. Mini Jacks are a little bit random at places, so definitely a choke point on those Jacks. And considering we have Gyoza instead of Kruke.
Okay, wait, this is an interesting switch in. Kruke, I would normally expect to play all the maps, but we'll see here. Gyoza Goki, I think, I'm trying to remember a time when I have seen Gyoza Goki play a map other than SV. Because I think last year, if I remember correctly, I don't remember seeing Gyoza Goki play maps other than SV, but they're definitely a capable player nonetheless, so we'll have to see what the scores are like in this one, because, I mean, replacing Kruke is a massive kind of statement.
Yeah, definitely. Gyoza might just be more confident in this kind of map. It is 3 minutes long, so consistency will be very important here. So maybe just some background conversation from Japan will lead Gyoza to play instead of Kruke, but that's their own decision here.
Yeah, some strategy also potentially to be considered as well. Given that Japan have had the accuracy advantage, maybe they just want to ensure that there's no least possibility for any misses, right? So maybe just Gyoza Goki more comfortable getting the FC.
Now this is your typical scam map, so anything can happen, and anything will happen. All players going in with a strong start. Still holding 99.9s after that awkward pattern at the very start. Very minimal score lead, but very start of the map. What can you say? We get the first few Jack patterns. This will just be consistency from here on out. So if players are looking confident on the patterns so far, what more can you say about the rest of the map?
Yeah, absolutely, and actually Colombia has an incredibly strong accuracy overall, but oh, Alexido finding a miss there, that was a big one as well. Came with quite a big accuracy drop down to 99.5.
That's going to be very detrimental. Although saying that, Gyoza does find the trade in comparison, going to give some of the score back to Colombia. The accuracy advantage is there for Japan. Saikuto finds that miss as well. It's not looking too good. We're not even halfway through the map yet. There's definitely room to come back from this. Does find that extra miss again.
Yeah, with the accuracy from Japan, this lead we can see is growing further and further as time goes on. Colombia started off with such a fantastic team accuracy overall, and Robert still holding on really strongly, 99 points. Oh my god, I shouldn't have said anything. Unfortunate miss there from Robert. That means all of the combos from Colombia are gone. No full combos left. There's still 2 on Team Japan.
Yeah, these misses from Colombia, the fact they're so spread out as well, does not let them get that combo cap back. It's almost 40,000 score lead now, over halfway through the map. I don't know how Colombia feel about this, being able to come back. Does not seem likely. 9990 and Ice Cake look very comfortable. Gyoza too, still at the 99.81, even with that miss towards the start of the map.
Yeah, really solid accuracies from Japan, just across the board, holding a consistent team 99.8. Colombia still has Alexito actually recovering from the miss really well, now 99.7. You have to imagine without that miss and accuracy drop earlier, would also be hanging around that 99.8 range. But Saikuto finding another miss there. Robert's still holding around 99.7, close to it. But it's just seeming like it's not quite enough as we're approaching the very end of the map. It looks like Japan holding on a very solid lead.
Very mentionable scores from Roberto and Alexito, though. Does bring it back kind of close, though the accuracy on all of Japan's players will be the deciding factor here. Everyone gets above the 99.8% margin, and they, yet again, every point we have seen so far, crazy ratios from Japan.
Yeah, Alexito actually matching the accuracy overall. This score, very comparable to all of the Japanese players, but just with the unfortunate miss in there involved as well. And it is going to be 4-0 early on in this match for Team Japan. And it is also, unfortunately, the Japan team's pick for Colombia.
Roberto's score, no 200s, 151 miss. That is very unfortunate to see, choking the double S with a 50 and a miss.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but that's just how tournaments go sometimes. Impossible to really consistently get, your full potential out. That just makes it all the more impressive when teams are this consistent like Japan.
Now, I'm expecting LN3 to get picked here from Japan, though could possibly see a hybrid. I will be surprised to see Rice, though they have proven themselves to be quite confident in there anyway. So anything is possible here to be picked.
Yeah, Japan really have the comfort at this point. They have enough of a lead that they can afford to pick essentially whatever they want if they want to go for maybe even the DJ Sharpener map at the top there. That would also be a fine pick for them if they want to capitalize on a little bit of accuracy. But I do agree Sensib would be a very good pick, specifically just for the players that are available right now for Japan. Makes a lot of sense.
Rice 2 is picked.
Okay. There you go.
As you said. This map does sound very bizarre pitch rated to me.
It does sound very different, actually. Listening, you can going through the map difficulties in the Osu client. The map select is just really crazy, just switching between the rates.
I love pitch rates though. Pitch rates is what makes rating. Ice Cake showing their appreciation for the map. Now this is 3.5 minutes long, so just like the last map we've seen, this will be about consistency. I think this one more so being jump stream, so we will hopefully see some really good ratio scores here.
Yeah, definitely one that I think the Japanese team is going to be looking to gain an advantage in that exact department. The ratio has been where they've been getting most of their lead in these Rice maps so far.
I believe we're just waiting on everyone to read it up, and then we'll get right into it. Saying good luck plenty of times. Really getting the point across.
Yeah, how many times do you see the jump stream team for a country being the same lineup as their SV? Not very often.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting match, missing their good Rice players. Though I say good Rice players, everyone, as we've already seen, is good at Rice, but their main roster is not here, unfortunately, but still showing just how good they are regardless.
Okay, but this is Colombia's last chance now. They're gonna have to wanna win on this one, on Japan's pick right now if they want to take it. And they have the Act 2, at least in the early parts of the map. We can see really good start once again for the Colombian team. They just need to be able to keep it up for the whole map, but easier said than done on a 3.5 minute long jump stream stamina map.
Yeah, Gyoza and Ice Cake are managing their really high accuracies so far. We're already through the map, so this is why you'd expect the accuracy to drop. But they're still holding comfortably. Gyoza switching between 99.96 and the 0.97. So all players are doing really good so far. 2,000 points of difference. Roberto does find that drop. Unfortunately, as I said that, going to give the Japan side a lot of score to deal with.
Yeah, unfortunate drops. It's so easy to drop on these patterns though. There's so many split trills, so many single hand trills involved in a lot of these patterns. And oh yeah, Roberto's struggling quite a lot to maintain a combo right now. And it's only going to get worse as the stamina runs out later on into the map.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through the map and there's already the 20,000 score lead advantage to Japan. Alexito and Billabong trying to carry their team to victory, but when you're looking at the Japan side of things and you're going against 3 99.9s, what more can you do? Alexito does find that miss.
Yeah, Japan is playing the full-on ratio game right now. Getting a few 200s would put this Japanese team, like, the score would just be out of reach already. 99.94 on two of the players, 99.92 on the lowest accuracy on Japan. A few more misses coming in for Team Colombia. Alexito still with a really strong accuracy, actually, despite the misses there. 99.7 still.
Billabong being the only FC on the Colombian side here. Alexito did have those unfortunate misses, and I really hope we can see a triple FC from Japan. I really want to see this team score at the end. 2/3 of the way through, and it does not look like they're slowing down, to be honest. They are just crushing it.
Japan anime buff for real.
Roberto has climbed up since that earlier miss, leading up to trying to get up to Billabong's score. Although Alexito is closer, surprisingly so. Roberto does find that drop again, as well as Alexito. I think those misses are definitely going to be the nail in the coffin for Colombia. Unless Japan really finds some really bad misses.
50,000 point the lead though. With a map this long, that is a massive advantage in the team score. And oh, okay, there is one miss coming in from Japan, but extremely clean miss from Yozagoki, still holding 99.89 with the miss.
Yeah, that one miss only cost him like 2,000 points as a team score.
As clean a miss as you could possibly get from Yozagoki. It's going to be an extremely strong team score once again. 998k for Ice Cake, just barely there. And yeah, the ratios are the story here. Japan only with the 1/200, one miss, and an extremely strong performance for their first match here. Colombia also keeping up with a few of these maps here. 987 on Billabong actually getting the FC at the end there.
Yeah, and if not for that miss from Gyoza towards the end, we would have seen 3 997 plus scores on the Japan side. Really cementing themselves, but Colombia did also put up an amazing fight, also considering their first Rice map that they picked, Rice 5, I believe it was. Super close, definitely showed some really great scores all around, and their potential to fight back.
Yeah, very promising overall from Colombia. Now, I believe we already know, actually, these two teams who they're going to be versing next week. Japan going to be going into the winner's side of round of 16, going to be versing Singapore, I believe, next week, which is going to be a very exciting match for sure. And Colombia going down, they're going to still have one more chance in the tournament to go further, but they're going to have to go through Australia, I think, next week in the losers bracket.
Definitely some good matches to look forward to. Now, that is not going to be all for today. That will be all for this bracket. We do have Brazil versus Sweden and Peru versus France 4 hours from now, so make sure you don't miss that. All these matches upcoming will be at the very last block, so these will be the very last matches of the first round of MTC.
Important to note as well, you can see that there's going to be 2 matches coming up next at the same time here. Brazil and Sweden and Peru versus France going to be at the same time, but both of them will be streamed. I believe we're going to have 2 separate streams running. We have a secondary stream, so make sure if you want to watch Peru versus France, I believe that's going to be the one on Osu Live 2, so make sure to check that out as well if you want to watch that match. But for now, we'll be signing off. Make sure you check back in about, I believe, 4.5 hours to watch Brazil versus Sweden.
Take care.